Hello Nevada Virtual Academy, welcome back. Here we are, orange rectangle, right? Proficiency exam. Translate this problem to an equation and solve. The length of a rectangle is 8 inches greater than its width. Find the width of the rectangle if its area is 105 square inches. What can we do? Okay, well, as many of you have already guessed, we're dealing with the quadratic equation here. But the question is, how is that quadratic equation going to look like? Somebody help me, somebody tell me, okay? Well, what do we know? We know that the length of this rectangle, right, is 8 inches greater than what? Its width. So if its width is W, its length is going to be W plus 8, right? Because the length is 8 inches greater than its width. That was easy. Find the width if its area is 105 square inches. So this is how you start. The area of a rectangle, which if you forgot in the exam, by the way, you will go back to the second page in your booklet and you find all the formulas there, right? The area of a rectangle is length times width. And in this case, length is what? W plus 8 multiplied by width, which is, if you're applying the distributive property, you multiply W times W, and that gives you W squared, plus W times 8, which is 8W. Okay? But hold on. The area is actually given, and it's 105. And this gives you the quadratic equation that you have to work with. W squared plus 8W equals 105. Right? And you have to solve for what? For W, because the question is, what is the width equal to? Well, to have a quadratic equation in the standard form, you have to move this 105 from the right side into the left side, and you learn that you can do that in any equation by subtracting the same quantity from both sides, in this case 105. Your new equation looks like W squared plus 8W minus 105 equals 0. Okay? And you have to solve this quadratic equation. Usually, you're looking if this one has any common factors. There is none. You check to see if this is a perfect square, and is not. The next thing, you may try ways to factor this out, right? Well, that may be one way to go. If this is factorable, you will have a W and a W in each one of your binomials here, because their product will be W squared. Now, checking your last term in here, and always take the sign that's in front of it, negative, this also tells me that I will have a plus and the minus operation in each one of my binomials. Okay? Next, I'm checking the middle term. In the middle term, the sign of it's positive, which means in the parentheses where I have W plus a number, that number is going to be the positive one, right? I mean, the greater number will go in here with W plus. What should you do next? Well, next, you should check for coefficients. I mean, not coefficients, for factors of 105. What numbers multiply, okay, one positive, one negative, and we know the positive one is going to be the greater one, to give you 105. Okay, well, obviously this is divisible by 5, and that may be a way to start, or you can just take 105 separately here, okay, and try to find its prime factorization. Obviously this is divisible by 5, so I will go with 5 as being the first one, right? 5 goes in 10 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 goes in 5 1 time, and then you have 3 obviously, and 7, right? So the factorization of your 105 is 5 times 3 times 7, the prime factorization. I should combine them in any way, any possible ways, right? Such that you will add them and they will give you 8. And as you can see, a way to go here will be 15, right? 5 times 3, which is 15, times negative 7. Well, you know, I've been able to spot this one quicker than you, but you know, with trial and error, you will go with 15 and 7. You can go with 21 and 5. I mean, one of them being negative, obviously, and we know the negative one is the smaller one because when you add them to get the middle term, you should get a positive number. And now let's see, is it 15? Is it 15 plus negative 7 equal to 8? Yes, it is. And I'm done. It seems to me that the factorization of this trinomial w squared plus 8w minus 105 is w plus 15 times w minus 7. Okay? And this one should equal 0. Now to solve, remember the zero product property. For this product to be 0, either one of them has to be 0, right? Which gives you the first w as, you know, from the first equation, w plus 15 equals 0, which would be negative 15. And the second w, from the second equation, w minus 7 equals 0, which tells you that w should be 7. Now obviously, because we're dealing with a rectangle, the length of a rectangle cannot be negative in our world yet, some would say, right? Who knows? Maybe in the parallel universe, the lengths of rectangles could be negative. So far, we're not accepting that. The only possibility is w, the width of the rectangle being 7, and that should be the answer for the given problem, okay? 7, 11, whatever. Well, sometimes the question may be trickier. They may ask you what is the length. So be careful. If the question would be what is the length or find the length, then you should add 8 to your 7 and that will give you 15. Alright? I hope you guys got it. This is how you approach similar problems. Thank you.